Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Felsbrunn Farm. We've been away for a few days, but we're back now. Took a little bit of time away from the farm with the upcoming patch that has now been released for terraforming, and then the subsequent problems that it caused for PS4 Pro users on the 3K resolution, and that's how I play, with 3K on a PS4 Pro. So rather than risking a drop in quality with the visuals, I decided to just wait a few days, get the hotfix out, have a play around with terraforming, and once I was comfortable with everything and the patch was installed, we would then look at restarting, or not restarting, but resuming our playthrough here on Felsbrunn. So we are now back, and if you haven't seen them, then I have done a couple of live streams looking at terraforming a map from scratch. To put in custom yards, custom fields, custom roads, so do check out my my two-part live stream. Future episodes for that may be coming in the future, not sure, we'll see how that goes. As for our farm, well, as you can see, our oilseed radish has grown. We're ready to turn this into the ground so that we can get that stage of fertilizer and put our new crops down. You can see we also have a lot of weeds, and obviously these are going to get cleared by our direct drill seeder on this field. For the other field, we are going to have to clean those off with our cultivator first. So let's get our worker up and running. I want to change my crop, and we're going to go with soybean. So let's plant double soybean on our two fields. Need to get the worker up and running first of all because of this very, very shallow angle on the side here. And as soon as we've done that, we're going to get our cultivator up and running on field 1 behind us. Get that cleaned off, and then we can start putting sunflowers back down on that field as well. So let's get lined up for the next pass. So we've had a few bug fixes with the new patch. It supposedly has fixed the issue of rain still falling through buildings, although we'll have to wait till we get some more rain to see conclusive proof of that. One thing it has also done is it has now allowed us to leave lights on when we're outside, when we turn the vehicle off, but kind of bizarrely, and I'm not entirely sure the reason for this, if you turn the engine off and you have lights on, the lights stay on, but you then can't turn the lights off until you turn the engine back on again. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know why. It does seem a bit odd that you can leave the lights on and then turn the engine off, but you have to then turn the engine back on again to turn the lights off when you're done. It seems a bit odd, but I'm not sure if that's a bug. It's possible, as we often see with patches and bug fixes. You fix one thing and inadvertently break something else in the process. That's true in any form of programming. A number of times I used to have problems when I was programming VBA in Excel, and I would fix one bug that I had in my line of code, and doing that fixed one problem and immediately caused a problem somewhere else in the code as well. And you had to then hunt through all that code to try and find what was causing the issue. So yeah, it's possible. I don't know if that's exactly what the case is, but I'll show you what I mean. So here we are, engine's on. Put the lights on. Engine off. You can see we've lost the lights inside the cab. Engine is off, no noise. Cannot turn the lights off. Get out, get in, lights won't turn off. Turn the engine back on. Now I can turn off the lights. It's weird. I like the fact that the lights now can be kept on, because that was always something that I really liked in Farming Sim 17, and I'm surprised that that wasn't as part of the game in 19. Maybe it was an oversight, maybe it was just a bug that needed to be fixed. It has been fixed, but as I say, it does seem a bit strange that we can't then turn them on and off independently. There has to be power for us to do that. The engine has to be running. Now in real life, all you need is just to turn the key in your ignition one turn, just like the first stage, just to switch on the battery. without actually starting the engine, and then you can do lights and indicators and all that kind of good stuff, and your radio, and run your battery down because it's not charging off the alternator. But yeah, for some reason, yeah, you have to have a running engine to turn lights on and off. So very strange. So once this field has been cultivated, we'll get the sunflowers planted in here, and obviously we've got our soybean being planted over there. You can see our worker just getting rid of the oilseed radish. If we take a look at our map, you can see now that blue line of fertilizer being applied. Obviously this weird little bit here, this is obviously the extension to the field that we put in, which is why it's floating above field 3 here. Yeah, we're getting a free stage of fertilizer, so we're only going to have to apply fertilizer once now to our fields. We may well need to weed them again at some point in the future, because we have now put crop in the ground, and that seems to be a trigger point. Every time you put a seed in the ground, you will get one stage of weed, or one round of weeds growing. So we're cleaning these ones off, but as soon as we start planting, those weeds will come back. We do need to turn plant growth off, actually. It's on fast at the moment. Let's turn that off. Oh, and our worker doesn't want to go all the way to the end. Interesting. We might have to do a border pass. Going forward, I may possibly get rid of this cultivator once I've done this field, because we initially bought this thinking that we wouldn't need to keep ploughing our fields every time, and that has turned out to not be the case with sunflowers. So we went and we bought those 2 subsoilers so that we could clean those off, and I think going forward, the easiest way for us to do our fields is going to be to plant them like this with OSR, and then use the subsoilers to cultivate under. We'll have 2 of them running, so we'll be able to clean more at a faster rate, because we'll have a combined working width of 8 meters as opposed to 5 with this cultivator. It will need both tractors to do it, and it will also clear that plough state on the fields as well, which means the cultivator is going to be kind of irrelevant to us and kind of pointless. We won't really need it. So once we have cleaned this field, we'll take that back and get a little bit of cash back for it from the store. It won't be a huge amount because it's not a massively expensive cultivator, plus it's going to be used. But if we can get some money back for it, that's always a good thing. And I'm going to jump out here as well. Now this is the area that I was looking at for installing a horse paddock, and you can see that the ground over here is incredibly uneven, very rough and bumpy, lots and lots of divots, big elevation changes, and to terraform before we got the tool and by putting in the paddock would have cost me around about 265,000 euros for a 50,000 euro horse paddock. Now with the terraforming tool, we can now terraform this land. We'll lose all of this grass, but we'll be able to terraform it, and it will work out cheaper. We'll probably pay 50 to 100,000 to flatten this land out a bit, to the point where we can quite comfortably get our horse paddock in there, and then the paddock itself will cost us 50 grand, so we'll probably save ourselves about 100,000 going forward. It's still more than we can afford at this stage. We're still struggling for cash at the moment, so financially we have reduced the loan a little bit. The money that we had left over from yesterday has been put into the bank, so we have a 1.13 million euro loan as opposed to 1.2. It means our interest payments are slightly smaller. So you can see, we scroll down, our interest payments 6,300 as opposed to 6,700. It all helps. But we are going to need to look at selling our crops. Now we do still have some crop available, I think. Let's see, we should still have canola and sunflowers. We do, yes. And look at that, we have 1581 at the Grain Elevator East and still going up. That is a very good price. Last price we saw was around 14 something. This already well over 100 higher per 1,000 litres. So we made the right choice in holding on to those sunflowers. We could get a price that in theory could be a little bit better than... In fact, I'm looking at this and I think maybe some other prices have all been tweaked as part of the patch. I'm looking at that price at the grain mill here for soybean, 1996. That is huge. We're currently on economic difficulty of normal, which is standard for this game mode. Let's see what happens if we change that to hard. How does that reflect in the prices? Oh wow, dramatically. Look at that. That's dropped that price down to 1100. That's way lower than what we were doing before. So we're going to stick to medium, which is what we were doing before, but it does look as though those prices have been tweaked a little bit. So I've never seen a price above 19, well, even close to 1900, let alone nearly 2000 for soybeans. So that looks as though it's been tweaked, which means who knows what our sunflowers could end up going for here at the Grain Elevator East. You know, 15-16 was a top level price before. That could go even higher now. It could go up to 16, 17, 18 maybe. Who knows? We'll have to keep an eye on that. And we have canola as well. Let's check out the canola prices. We move that to the front there. We've got, let's see, 11.65 and going up at the train station mill, 11.98 and going up at the grain mill. So those are the two prices we're going to be keeping an eye on. We'll see what they end up as, and we'll be looking to sell our canola a little bit later today as well. But those established benchmark prices that we had no longer seem to be our benchmarks. They do seem to have been improved ever so slightly. Well, certainly soybean seems to have gone up in value. So that could make our crops very, very valuable indeed. Another thing that has changed is the price of fertilizer. You can see here it's now 1920 euros for a bag of solid fertilizer, which is more expensive than it was before. I think it was 1400 before, or 1600, somewhere in that region. So that's gone up, and it's also the case for pallets of liquid fertilizer. That was 2400 per pallet. It's now 3200. So fertilizer costs have gone way up. Now, I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. If it's because they think that people are making too much money from fertilizing contracts, then I think that is a terrible decision. And what they should have done was they should have changed the payouts on the fertilizing missions, rather than hammer everybody, even the people that don't do contracting work, by pushing up the price of fertilizer itself. That means even if you have no intention of ever doing spraying contracts, you know, just running your farm is now substantially more expensive. Now, it may well be again that those prices that we saw for our crops have been tweaked, and so yes, we're paying more in fertilizer, but we're also gaining more in terms of crop sale prices, so it could balance out that way a little bit. Be interesting to find out the actual reason as to why they've pushed the price up a little bit, and see if it is linked to an increase in crop prices or if it's linked to contracting payouts. And if it's linked to contracting payouts, then they should have changed the contracting payouts, not the cost of the materials. Just been taking a quick look at the contracting tab to see if I can see if there has been a drop or change in the contracting payouts for fertilizing jobs, and I've just noticed this: a transport job offering £2,500. That is phenomenally high. Highest I've seen on a transport job has been around 900 euros, give or take a few. But 2,400 like that is monstrously big. So I'm going to accept this contract because I want to see exactly what it is that we have to transport that's going to cost that or pay out that much. Transport items from the gas station. So let's find the gas station, which is here, and let's just jump down there and have a look and see what it is we're supposed to be transporting. Oh wow, look at that, we've got 5 pallets. Now, if we can't strap pallets down, then that's going to be frustrating, because we couldn't strap pallets down to our trailers before. If we still can't do that, transporting 5 pallets like that, well, that's a minimum of 3 trips if you're clever enough to, or lucky enough to be able to get 2 pallets per fork like I've been able to do. Then you'll have a lot of careful maneuvering and nudging of the pallets to get them close enough together, and then hope that they don't get pushed apart as you're trying to skew it. It's It's fiddly, but it's doable. But that's one trip, that's a second trip, and that's a third trip with a front loader. I kind of want to see whether I can bring my trailer down here and load pallets on the back and see whether or not they will actually be strappable. But we're in the middle of working with our T6. As you can see, we've got a lot of cultivating to do, so we'll leave that contract for now, see if it'll still be available to us to work on later in the day, and then we'll probably, on the way down perhaps, maybe see if we to take the cultivator back. Maybe we'll see if we can strap those to a pallet. I'll pick one up on the way, and I'll reset my trailer to the store, and then once the pallet is sort of on the, once we've dropped off the cultivator, we can load the pallet on the back of the trailer, see if it'll strap down, and if it will, we can then take the trailer over to the other 4 pallets, strap those down and make it a single journey kind of thing. Yeah, I want to see if that's the case. So I'm going to jump ahead until this contract, well, this cultivating is pretty much done, and then I'll see you in a moment. So we're getting finished now on this field here. Just getting the last strip of soybean down. We have left a very little bit on the edge there. We'll have to go back and clean that up. Our cultivator hasn't quite finished yet. Still a little bit of work left on field 1. But there should be enough space cleared away for us to start seeding now with this, and start putting our sunflowers into the ground. Let's just clear out this hidden line just along here. Drop that down about there. That should be good for this little step out. And we will be doing some terraforming and landscaping tweaks to our fields going forward once we're in a position where we can do, and we have the money to do so. Terraforming is unfortunately not cheap. It is a little bit expensive, depending on what it is you're trying to do and how much ground you're trying to change. There we go. We have finished seeding away our soybean. So let's go give this a clean, put it away, switch over to our sunflowers. What I also want to do today as well is pick up another tree harvester on lease, or tree planter on lease, and I want to start laying down some trees on this strip of land here along the top of field 1, the opposite side of the road. We've got all that lovely space that we're not really doing anything with, and even with terraforming isn't really suitable for putting in like a strip of crop or anything like that, but it is ideal for putting a load of trees down. So we saw how much money we could make by cutting and prepping trees, so we'll stick some more all the way along here, and then when they're grown, that'll give us a nice little extra income as well. There is our cultivator busily working away, on the remaining strip just there. Not too much left. And some time has passed, of course, since we've been doing our seeding, so let's take a look at the prices at the store as well. We may do that. We may sell stuff before we start planting. Let's have a look. Let's just clean this off first of all. See, I don't need the light on. There we go. Can't repair it because we're at minus 10 euros and we need to have a positive balance to be able to make the repair costs, so I'll have to take money out to do that if I want to fix it. We'll leave it there for now. Right, let's take a look at the price menus. So sunflowers have stopped going up. 15.89 is the final price there. That's still a very good price though. I like that. Look at this at the grain mill, canola 13.70 and still climbing. So I think we'll be waiting for that to finish and then selling our canola there. But we are definitely going to take advantage of this. It's the grain elevator east. There is no rail sell point. Oh yes, we can sell by rail at the grain elevator east. So we'll transfer our crop to the railroad silo east, drop in there, and then we'll sell by train. That'll be a nice easy way to drop off all of our crop in one go, and certainly be faster than delivering trailer at a time. Being able to move all 50-something thousand litres would take 3 trips at a best speed of 26 miles an hour, as opposed to all in one go at a speed of 50. So it's kind of a no contest really. Let's load up the sunflowers and start transferring this down to the silo. So to help cut down travel time a little bit, I'm also going to grab our other trailer here. It will hook up behind, but not in front of the agro liner. But this will add an extra 12,000 litres, so I'll be able to haul 33. That might be enough to empty out the remaining allowance. It should be enough. Got 30. Oh no, we've got 30,000 left. So I'd have to convert the other trailer as well. No, wait. This gives us 33. So yeah, we have got enough storage space because there's 21 in this. There we go. So let's get the remaining amount down to the silo. Our cultivator has now finished on field 1. So on our return, with the empty trailers, we can then set this loose and start our seeding job. Well, we weren't quite quick enough to beat the train, but I'd rather we have the barriers coming down as we're arriving rather than as we're trying to go through with 2 trailers. That would just be a bit of a disaster really. So let's get this unloaded. There we go. So let's change the tip side. There we go. Both of our trailers tipping and unloading. Very nice. No change in our price there. 13.84 at the grain mill, still climbing slowly for canola. That'll be our next port of call. 22,000. So we'll need to take the pair of trailers again. The last one will have about 1,200 litres in it. About 1,200 litres or so in it. Not much at all. There we go. Our grain is delivered to the silo, the railroad silo. So now all we need to do is grab a train and haul that over to the grain silo east and get it sold off. So we know that this has a problem going from that side to that side, and it tends to skip a lot. We're going to run the seeder this way, which we know is more consistent. It'll take longer because there'll be more turning and less straight lining, but we should get a much more even and consistent application of seed all the way across. So we'll leave our worker to do that. We're going to run this down to the store, get this sold off. Oh, before I do, I'll just drop that there for a second. I also need to make sure I have my pallet forks hooked up as well, so we can just see if that contract will allow us to load pallets and strap them down to our trailer. The trailer has already been reset to the store, so at the very least we'll just be bringing that back from the store. But hopefully we will actually be able to actually strap pallets down. Just trying to work out where I left my pallet forks, my front loader arms. Where are they? Where did I leave my front loaders? Not round here. The bucket's there, but they're not. Not around here. Where on earth did I put them, and what's happened to my header trailer? That seems to have lost balance a bit. I don't see my front loaders anywhere. Did I leave them at the store? I think I might have left them at the store. That's the gas station. Yeah, there they are, look. There's my front loaders all the way down there. Okay, so in that case, I need to reset my pallet forks down there. I must have left those down there. Oh, the pallet forks will still be attached. That's the bale spike over there and the log grab. So, yeah, we can just drive straight down there. So I'll see you at the store. We'll get that contract test done, and then we'll sell off our sunflowers and make some money. So I figured it'd probably be a better idea to actually, before we start messing around with the front loader and pallets, it would be a better idea for us to actually make sure our grain sale goes through, just in case the price starts to dip while we're messing around on a €2,500 contract. We would potentially stand to lose quite a bit of cash if there was a shift in price. So we'll get everything loaded up first of all. So there we go. Lots and lots of lovely sunflowers being loaded in. And a little bit more. Awesome stuff. Let's get the lid closed. And off we go to go and deliver our crop. Are we causing any cars to wait? Nope, no traffic being held up. Good stuff. See you at the sell point. Let's start slowing down. Let's let them know we're here with a nice little honk of the horn. Are we over the sell point yet? Not quite. There we go. So we should get around about 75 to 80,000 for this, I think, if my maths is correct. Oh, look at that, 81,768. That's nice. That's very nice. Right. Over here. Let's just turn off, switch to trains. There we go. So we need to sell the cultivator. Let's get that sold off. We'll get nearly 20 grand back for that. That's not too bad. How much did we pay for it? Just out of interest, I can't remember. Must be under disc arrows. There we go, 25. So we've lost 5 grand, but we've got a fair bit of use out of it for 5 grand. That's not too bad. So, let's see if we can actually turn this contract in. Let's check we still have the contract, first of all. Yes, we do still have the contract. So, can we strap down pallets to our trailers now? I really hope we can. Because that just seemed like a really big oversight that we weren't able to do that. And I would have thought that would have been something that would have been addressed in the patch if it was an oversight. I don't know. I've just got this sinking feeling that it's not going to work still. In which case we'll just cancel the contract and return. I don't want to faff around making lots and lots of trips just for 2.5 grand. It's, you know, it's good as a transport contract payout, but, you know, 3 trips minimum, that's a lot. You know, if we can do it all in one trip, then I'd be much better, be much happier with that. But sadly, as I say, I just get the feeling that it's not going to be that simple. Of course we took out a sign. Nothing to see, nothing to see. I have no idea what sign you're talking about. I didn't knock down a sign at all. I'm certainly not hiding it in the long grass. Yeah, no sign. No sign anywhere near here. I have no idea what you're talking about. So, there we go. Let's grab one of these pallets. Do you think the local council will buy my innocence whistle there? I seriously doubt it. Can I strap this down? I hope so. We can finally strap these pallets down. Oh, that is awesome. Alright, let's get this contract done. I'm so pleased that we can actually strap these pallets down now. That has made things so much easier for contracting. So we can now just take a trailer with us if we've got a big job with multiple pallets like this. I honestly was not holding out any hope that that would have been fixed or addressed. It might not have been broken, but it's certainly been addressed, and we do now have the ability to strap things down, and that is wonderful. Oops, what is that? Some piping, some tubing. Could probably really do with relocating the trailer to where I've got a little bit more space to work with, but it'll do here. For this one, we'll move it after this. So let's unstrap that. Easy, easy. And loop. Strap down. And strap down. Oh, that's glorious. That's such a glorious sight to see those straps working on these pallets now. Let's pull this out of the way. So we'll do 4 on the trailer and then we'll carry 1 on the forks. It'll just be easier, I think, to do it that way. Although I could, theoretically, stack them on top of each other. I suppose we should try that as well. See if we can actually stack them. Oh. Somehow we've managed to reverse ourselves over a park bench. I have no idea how I managed to go over the back of that. Oh dear. It looks like not even benches are safe now. We know about the perils of being a signpost in my vicinity, but even benches are not safe, it would seem. Oh, it's just as well there wasn't someone sat there. That would have been awkward and tough to explain. Just how did this gentleman manage to get squished underneath the rear wheels while he was sitting miles away from the action? Would you believe he literally just threw himself under the wheels? No? Please? Please believe that. I certainly didn't drive over him in some kind of bizarre off-roading incident. Oh, come off the forks. Come off the forks. It's climbing up the forks. It's supposed to come off the forks. There we go. It's supposed to come off when you tilt them forward, not watch them climb back up the forks again. They have abandonment issues. Maybe those boxes don't want to leave here. Will do whatever they can to stay. Separation anxiety. Alright, avoid the bench. There we go. That's better. Nowhere near it. And will these ones come off nice and easy? Yes, they will. Good stuff. Push those forward, and let's see if we can stack another one on the top. And still strap down. It should, in theory. We know it'll do it with pallets big bags of seed and fertilizer and stuff. Will it work with these pallets of stuff? I have no idea what's in these boxes. Do you remember the good old days in Farming Sim 15 when it actually told you what you were transporting? Now it's just transport stuff from one location to another with no hint as to what's inside the mystery boxes. We've already had a suspected run of organs. Let's see. Next strap there and there. And that one's not needed. Yeah, we can strap all of them down like that, and we can strap multiple heights as well. So where do we need to actually take these? To Railroad Silo West. Good stuff. Right. I will see you when we get there. Alright, so in theory we should just need to drive up to the delivery box and we'll be good. Let's see. No, we're going to have to manually unload them by the look of it. They're too high off the ground for this to register as them being delivered. So that puts a slight dampener on things, but hey, at least we can move multiple pallets in one go now. That is a big leap forward. Again, it's just a simple little thing, but it makes a huge difference. It's just a shame that it wasn't there right from the beginning and people had to complain for it to be implemented. Ooh, what is going on there? Folks lost a... just got a mind of their own there. Getting strange goings on with the pallets climbing up the forks. We've got forks behaving completely out of the ordinary. spooky goings on here in Felsbrunn. Let's just push it. Be quicker. Can I? It might count, but I just want to pull it back in a little bit. It's in the box, just. That'll do. It's certainly not my cleanest delivery job ever. Let's see if we can at least get this one off nice and clean. This one seems to be stuck on the forks as well. I have to give them a waggle just to try and shake it loose. There we go. If anyone's wondering what a waggle is, it's kind of a cross between a wiggle and a wave. It's not a made-up word. We do say waggle from time to time. Not very often, but we do say waggle sometimes here in the UK. Well, at least I do, anyway. I don't know if anyone else does. Used to hear it a lot when I was a kid. Not so much anymore. It was a long time ago. Oops. This has been a bit of a disaster, really, trying to deliver these boxes, isn't it? Just push this one in. At least it's the right way up now. Oh, come on. I just want to push this final box in and complete the contract. This is ridiculous. Ah, so frustrating. Need to attack it from a different angle. There we go, and it's still not coming up as contract complete looks. And maybe we could have just... don't tell me I could have just left them. One's not delivered. It must be the one that's upside down and out the box. Let's just try and reverse that back in a bit better. There we go, transport finished. It's a mess, but we made it. Collect. Job done. Right, so transport missions have got a bit bigger, that's for sure. There's another one there I think I just saw for 1,700. Yeah, at the supermarket, look, or nearly 1,800. So transport missions have become more profitable, but more involved. And you can transport them all in one go on a trailer, but they're too high off the ground. At least with this trailer, they're too high off the ground to recognise them. Maybe you could stick them in a dump trailer and try and dump them. I don't know if it will let you force tip in an area where you don't own, even if there's only those, pallets in the back. So that might not work either. So you can deliver them all in one go, but you'll have to take them off and stack them in the box yourself. You get more money though, so yeah, an improvement to transport missions. They're certainly worth a lot more now. I'm not sure if time-wise they're worth taking on the larger contracts though. I mean, the old ones you could kind of rattle them out pretty quickly. These new ones are a little bit more involved in the amount of work that's needed. Might be quicker to perhaps just do a series. That's another bench that's in danger. What is it me with benches today? Again, somebody who was sat there would have been skewered alive. I think basically if you see me farming in the area, stay away from posts. Don't ever sit down on the bench, because it might not be a safe place to be. Alright, let's get back to the farm. Let's check on the progress of our seeding. And also, maybe, is now a good time for us to sell our canola. 1387. Yes, so we'll load up on canola and we'll go and sell that as well. We've made 100 grand today thanks to selling our cultivator back. How much more can we add to that with our canola? Let's find out. So here we are at the grain mill. We don't actually come here very often. We go past it all the time, but we don't often sell stuff here. The prices just never seem to line up, but they have this time. So let's tip our canola. See just how much we can get. Now I reckon we should get maybe just under 30 grand. Oh, just over 31.5. Very nice. And I think what I'm going to do with part of that money is I'm actually going to get rid of this second trailer that we have, this small small Strautmann trailer. We've got one that we're using for pallet transporting and, you know, egg boxes when we need to sell egg boxes. But for now, we don't really need two of those. We only need one as a low loader, so, or a transport trailer. So we're going to go and sell that, and we're going to go and get a corresponding second agro liner trailer, and I'm going to get the one with the axle rather than the straight hitch like that, just so that we've got a little bit more control through the turns when they're linked together. It shouldn't be too expensive. We'll be able to recoup some of our cash, not much, but some of our cash from the Strautmann. Probably only get about 5 grand or so back from that. We've had the trailer for quite some time now. It's been used quite a bit as well, so it's probably not going to be worth much more than around 5,000–6,000. Taking a very wide berth away from those signs there. Let's bring it in. Drop it off. There we go. And sell that. Oh wow, nearly 7 grand. That's more than I was expecting. Yes, we'll take that. We'll take that all day. So, trailers. So this is the one that we've got, and we're going to get one of these. The 302 HKD with the front axle. Slightly cheaper than the TDK, or TKD as well. We'll keep the same colour scheme. I can't remember what I did for wheels. I think I went Michelin's. Let me check that. Yeah, they're Michelin's. So let's get matching wheels. There we go. We'll buy one of those. And now we can ship 42,000 litres in one go, like this. That'll make transporting grain to and from sell points and silos much easier, and much more flexible, because if we only have say 20 odd grand, we can run a single trailer. If we have a little over 20 grand, say less than 30 or less than 30 grand, we can always convert the other Strautmann trailer and use that. And if we have 40 grand or more, or over 33 grand, then we've got 2 trailers and we can still do it in a single run like that. Yeah, this is going to work out very well for us, I think, going forward. And we don't have to, as I say, run them all at the same time. in which case, you know, we could have just got a larger trailer, but we would have struggled for power with a single trailer, with more than a single trailer for the New Holland. Only the case would really been able to handle 2 of these fully loaded. It gives us flexibility, so you know, we can run a single trailer with the New Holland, or we can run double trailers with the case, and we don't have to commit to just buying a big, expensive 40,000 litre trailer. I think this is going to, you know, be a better, more flexible option for us. Alright, once these are dropped off, I'm going to head back to the store, pick up a tree planter, and I'm going to start planting some trees. There's nothing really left to do today other than let the seeding finish and then turn the growth cycle back on again. So I'll start planting some trees on that strip of land alongside field 1. And they'll start growing for us. We'll be able to cut those down in the future and make some extra cash. And I will be back with some more Felsbrunn farm very soon.